හරිම සුළුයි.
Restriction-free. Sri Lanka to remove restrictions on all import goods except for vehicles, says State Minister of Finance. Expanding FTA. Sri Lanka and India to resume talks of EDCA negotiations. Peace and harmony. The government aims to convert the Office of National Unity and Reconciliation into a statutory institution, reveals the Justice Minister.
The draft is ready. We are taking up that in the Parliament within next 2 months.
ඔබේ විශ්වාසය දෙනු සෙන්සුරයින් දැන් ළඟමැති ෆාමසියෙන් ලබාගත හැක.
This is AdaDerana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to AdaDerana First at 9. I'm Aditya Drisingha joining you live with the latest in Sri Lanka and around the world. Now in your top story tonight, State Minister of Finance Shehan Semasinghe expressed confidence in concluding the debt restructuring program by the fourth quarter of this year, adding that the domestic debt optimization program is already complete. He further went on to say that all import restrictions apart from approximately 270 HS codes applicable to vehicles will be relaxed by next month. The State Minister highlighted that the relaxation of import restrictions will aid in stabilizing the country's prices.
A conference aimed at clarifying the details of the IMF agreement and the tax policy of the government was held in Anuradhapura yesterday under the patronage of State Minister of Finance Shehan Semasinghe.
දේශීය ණය ප්‍රශස්ත කරන වැඩසටහන සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම අවසන් කරලා තියෙනවා. අපි හිතනවා මේ අවුරුද්දේ 4 වෙනි කාර්යෝටය යද්දී අපේ සම්පූර්ණ ණය ප්‍රතිභාගත කරන වැඩසටහන අපිට අවසන් කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි. ඒක අපි බොහෝ දුරට විශ්වාසය පළ කරලා තියෙන්නේ මේ අවුරුද්දේ අවසන් වෙද්දී අද ඔබට තියෙන දුෂ්කරතා බොහෝමයක් මගහැරෙවි. එතනින් එහා 2024 අවුරුද්දට ආර්ථිකයේ වර්ධනයක් කරා ගමන් කරන්න මේ ණය ප්‍රතිභාගත කරන වැඩසටහන ඉතාම වැදගත් කියන කාරණා. ඉදිරියේදී විශාල වශයෙන් අපි දැනට හඳුනගෙන තියෙන ආයතන වලට අමතරව මේ රාජ්‍ය ව්‍යාපාර පද්ධතියම ප්‍රතිභාගත කරන එකට ලක් වෙනවා. එතනදී අපි සේවකයන්ට අසාධාරණයක් නොවෙන්න, ඔවුන්ට අනාරක්ෂිතභාවයක් ඇති නොවෙන්න අවශ්‍ය ප්‍රතිපත්තිමය තීන්දුව ටික අරගෙන රටට මහ භාණ්ඩාගාරයට බරක් නොවන ආකාරයට කටයුතු කරන්න සුදුසුම තීන්දුව ටික ගන්න. ඒ වගේම අපිට විශාලම අර්බුදය වෙච්ච රෙමිටන්සස් අපිට අද සාමාන්‍ය මට්ටමකට ඉහළ නැංවිලා තියෙනවා. අපිට අත්‍යවශ්‍ය ආනයන ටික කරන්න අපේ සංචිත ප්‍රමාණය ශක්තිමත් වෙමින් පවතිනවා. අපි හිතනවා දැනට අපේ HS කෝඩ් 600කට ආසන්න ප්‍රමාණයක ආනයන සීමා තාම පවත්වාගෙන යනවා. එතනින් අපිට ලබන මාසෙ වෙද්දී වාහන සඳහා අදාළ HS කෝඩ් 270කට ආසන්න ප්‍රමාණය හැර අනික් සියලු ආනයන සීමා අපිට නිදහස් කිරීමේ හැකියාවක් තියෙනවා. ඒක ලබන මාසෙ වෙද්දී නිදහස් වීම සිදු වෙයි. මම හිතනවා ඒ තුල මිලස්ථාවරයට විශාල පිටුවහලක් ලැබෙයි.
Now, meanwhile, chief negotiators of Sri Lanka and India discussed the resumption of negotiations of the Economic and Technological Cooperation Agreement. According to the President's media division, the discussion was held virtually between the two parties, which will mark the continuation of talks after 11 previous rounds of negotiation. Preliminary discussions on the EDCA were held in 2015 during the 4th Commerce Secretary level talks between Indian and Sri Lankan officials in New Delhi, where the agreement was first proposed. EDCA seeks to expand the scope of trade to services and technology sector with a free trade agreement already existing between the two countries. Now, Minister of Foreign Affairs President's Council Ali Sabri highlighted that efforts directed towards enhancing cooperation on crucial global challenges such as climate change, food insecurity and conflict in many parts of the world which continue to inflict human suffering and environmental degradation must not be pushed back. He further went on to say that priority must be given to ensuring a just digital transformation as well as efforts to counter terrorism and reform the international financial architecture. Foreign Minister Sabri highlighted that Sri Lanka expects the summit of the future to present an action-oriented outcome through which the member states of the North and South could cooperate towards responding to global challenges successfully. He made these remarks speaking at the preparatory ministerial meeting of the Summit of the Future of the 78th session of the UNGA.
The preparatory ministerial meeting of the Summit of the Future of the 78th session of the UNGA convened on the 21st of September. The meeting marks a once-in-a-generation opportunity to enhance global cooperation to tackle critical challenges, address gaps in global governance, reaffirm existing commitments including to the Sustainable Development Goals and the United Nations Charter, and make a multilateral system better positioned to positively impact people's lives.
The climate change, emerging new health threats, food insecurity and conflict in many parts of the world continue to inflict human suffering and environmental degradation. We cannot and must not push back on the effort to enhance our cooperation on these crucial global challenges. It is an opportunity to reaffirm our commitment to the purposes and principles of the UN Charter, engage in effective multilateralism and enhance and implement existing commitment on development financing. Ensuring a just global digital transformation that addressed the digital divide, threats from technologies, efforts to counter terrorism and reform the international financial architecture are priority areas. The Summit of the Future, I believe, for all of us is filled with the expectation of the future we want and forging a new global consensus to secure it. We failed the MDGs and we are grappling to find a rescue plan for the SDGs. Therefore, we do not need a summit which will leave us with another set of goals that are not achievable. We cannot let down our future generation. Sri Lanka wants the Summit of the Future to bring forward an action-oriented outcome through which member states, both in the North and South, can better cooperate and respond to the global challenges. To do that, rebuilding trust and global solidarity will be critical and ensure that the commitments are implemented. First, we need a peaceful world free from war and conflict. Second, we cannot achieve anything if you do not have the resources. Therefore, Sri Lanka reiterates its call for an international financial architecture which is reformed in line with the SDGs, debt sustainability, and that would ultimately provide a global financial safety net. Third, multilateralism must be transparent and sincere and should not include double standards. We cannot build trust if member states are treated in two different ways on the same issue.
Now, Minister of Justice Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa said the Office of National Unity and Reconciliation, established in 2015 to maintain peace and harmony in the country, will be converted into a statutory institution soon. Addressing an event, the Justice Minister said that relevant draft bill to convert the Office of National Unity and Reconciliation into a statutory institution will be presented to Parliament within the next 2 months. Meanwhile, US Ambassador to Sri Lanka Julie Chung called on all Sri Lankans to be ambitious about the future of Sri Lanka in terms of economic and social stability and building innovation.
An event to celebrate the International Day of Peace organised by the Minister of Justice was held at the National Youth Centre in Maharagama yesterday under the patronage of Minister of Justice Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa and US Ambassador in Colombo Julie Chung.
We have commenced many programs. One such is the program we entrusted to Office of Unity and Reconciliation. After the government was formed in 2015, our first task was to achieve peace. That is why we set up this organization. It's now grown up. It's spread all over the country. Now we are going to make it a statutory institution. Whereas the draft is ready, we are taking up that in the Parliament within next 2 months. There is a unique object of this bill. Throughout that we were waiting. Peace process is started from the top, from the level of the top politicians, top rankers. It didn't happen. We are going to reverse it. We are going to start from the bottom. Therefore, that peace, we have to start establish in village levels. It has to go from the bottom to top, not from the top to bottom. Top to bottom concept is failed. We need the peace everywhere. There are 14,000 Grama Niladhari division all over Sri Lanka. We have already established these peace committees over 10,000 villages, 4,000 more to be established in the near future. What is the purpose of it? That is for the protection of the people in the village. That is for the reconciliation and peace of the people living in the village. That is to prevent external interference and disruption of the peace in the village. That is to safeguard all your rights. Similarly, the stability of the village.
We believe that peace can be achieved in many ways, and bringing a community together through economic growth opportunity is one way to do that. We all have a collective commitment to a resilient and harmonious Sri Lanka, whether you're a minister, ambassador, a farmer, or a student. And let us all be ambitious about the future of Sri Lanka. Ambitious about economic stability, political stability, and building innovation, but also ambitious about safeguarding democracy, systemic change against corruption. Because stability should not come at the sacrifice of the values of freedom of expression, whether it's through peaceful protest, expression through the arts, or through social media.
Now, in more local news, during a COPA meeting yesterday, the Deputy Director General of Health Services, Dr. G. Vijay Surya, said that a total of 957 medical officers have left active service within the past year, while 670 medical officers are expected to retire within the next year. The Deputy Director General further revealed that approximately 1,600 medical officers join the workforce every year, which will aid in addressing issues pertaining to the availability of general practitioners in the health sector. It was also unveiled during the hearing that measures are currently underway to charge monetary compensation from all medical officers who have left the active service to go abroad without prior notice.
වෛද්‍යවරුන් පිළිබඳව ඉදිරිපත් කිරීමක් කරන්නම්. වෛද්‍යවරු මේ වෙනවිට මුළු ප්‍රමාණය 22541ක් සෞඛ්‍ය අමාත්‍යාංශයට ඉන්නවා. මේ 22541 ඇතුළත මේ වෙනවිට වසර 5ක කාලය සඳහා විදේශගත වූ වෛද්‍යවරුනුත් මේ තුල ඉන්නවා. මේ වෙනවිට මේ වර්ෂයක් ඇතුළත 2022 8:30 සිට 23 8:30 දක්වා ගත්තම 526ක් වසර 5ක නිවාඩු අරගෙන ගිහිලා තියෙනවා. ඒ on the job ඒගොල්ලෝ රසාව කරන අතර තමයි ගිහිලා තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට එතන ලොකු ගැප් එකක් තියෙනවා. අපි ස්ටෑන්ඩ් බයි වෛද්‍යවරු තියාගෙන හිටියේ නෑ මේවට දාන්න. නමුත් රජයේ චක්‍රලේඛ සහ ආයතන සංග්‍රහය අනුව අපිට මේ ආයත යන්න අවස්ථාව දෙන්න සිදු වෙලා තියෙනවා. එතකොට මේකත් එක්ක අපිට ගැටලුකාරී තත්ත්වයක් තියෙනවා සමහර ආයතනවල කටයුතු එදිනදා කටයුතු පවත්වාගෙන යන විශේෂයෙන්ම ඇනස්තීසියා නිර්වින්දන වෛද්‍යවරුන් ICU වල වැඩ කරන වෛද්‍යවරුන් සමහරක් ප්‍රාථමික ඒකකවල ගරු සභාපතිතුමනේ ඉන්නේ එක වෛද්‍යවරයා ඉන්නේ. එතකොට සහ දෙන්න ඉන්නේ ඒ වගේ ස්ථානවල පැය 24 පවත්වාගෙන යාම අපිට ගැටලුකාරී තත්ත්වයකට පත් වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම මේ වර්ෂය ඇතුළත 163ක් ඉල්ලාස් වෙලා තියෙනවා. කිසිම දැනුදීමකින් තොරව රට ගිහිපා ඉන්න 197ක් මෙයාගේ මුදල් අය කර ගැනීම සඳහා අපි කටයුතු කරමින් පවතිනවා. 71ක් ට්‍රයි වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒ අනුව මේ වර්ෂය ඇතුළත 957ක් අපිට වෛද්‍යවරු අපේ සේවයෙන් ඉවත් වෙලා තියෙනවා.
අවුරුදු 60ට වැඩි සියලුම දෙනා විශ්‍රාමයේ ආ යුතුයි. ඒකට ඒ අතරේදී 63 වෙනව නම් කවුරු හරි කෙනෙක් අනිවාර්යෙන් එතන විශ්‍රාමයේ යන්න ඕන.
ඒ අනුව මේ අවුරුද්දේ තව කී දෙනෙක් විශ්‍රාමයේ යනවද?
මේ අවුරුද්දේ 63 පිරලා යන්නේ ඉතාම සුළු ප්‍රමාණයක්. නමුත් අපි ගත්තොත් 24 දෙසැම්බර් 31 සර් එදාට තමයි ගොඩක් යන්නේ ඉන්නේ. මොකද 60 පිරණ අය යන්න ඕන, 61 පිරණ අය ඉන්න ඕන, 62 පිරණ අය යන්න ඕන. ඒ අය ගත්තම 670ක් ලබන වර්ෂයේ දෙසැම්බර් 31ට මේ වෙන විට වර්ෂයකට සාමාන්‍යයෙන් වෛද්‍යවරු 1600ක් පමණ පිට වෙනවා අලුතෙන්. ඒක නිසා සාමාන්‍ය වෛද්‍යවරුන්ගේ ගැටලු අපිට විසඳා ගැනීමට හැකියාවක් තියෙනවා.
මෙඩිකල් ඔෆිසර්ස්ලා.
මෙඩිකල් ඔෆිසර්ස්ලාගේ. දැනට වුණත් සාමාන්‍ය වෛද්‍යවරුන්ගේ පුරප්පාඩු තියෙන්නේ 2500ක වතර ප්‍රමාණයක් තමයි දැනට අප්රූව්ඩ් කාඩ් එක ඇතුළත.
මාධ්‍ය වාර්තා කළ ඉන්ටර්න්ස්ලාගෙනුත් කීප දෙනෙක් දැන් ඇප්ලයි කරන්නේ හෝ රට යනවා කියලා.
සාමාන්‍ය එක වර්ෂයකට ඉන්ටර්න් වලට සහභාගී වෙන්න නැතුව 10කට අඩු ප්‍රමාණයක් තමයි යන්නේ. හැබැයි ඉන්ටර්න්ස් දීලා ඉන්ටර්න්ස් කම්ප්ලීට් කරාට පස්සේ සාමාන්‍යයෙන් 1600ම ගත්තොත් 1600න් 150 200ක් අතර ප්‍රමාණයක් පෝස්ට් ඉන්ටර්න් අපොයින්ට්මන්ට් බාර ගන්න නැතුව විදේශගත වෙනවා. මෑත කාලේදී ඒක වැඩි. අතීතයේදී එච්චර සිදු වුණේ නැහැ. මෑත යුගයේදී ඒක වැඩි.
ඒ කියන්නේ ඉන්ටර්න්ෂිප් කම්ප්ලීට් කරලා ඒගොල්ලෝ යනවා.
ඔව්. මොකද රෙජිස්ට්‍රේෂන් ගන්න ඕනේ. SLMC රෙජිස්ට්‍රේෂන් ගන්න එක වැදගත් වෙනවා ඒගොල්ලන්ට පිටරට ගිහලා වැඩ කරන්න. ඒක නිසා ඉන්ටර්න්ෂිප් කරලා ඉවර වෙලා තමයි SLMC රෙජිස්ට්‍රේෂන් අරන් යන්නේ.
Now, opposition leader Sajith Premadasa highlighted that the opposition vehemently objects to the government's plans of consolidating the power of social media into its own hands, restricting the free use of social media platforms. During a visit to the fisheries harbour in Dondra, he went on to say that the present government is trying to curb the freedoms of the people in every possible way.
Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa visited the Dondra fishing harbour today. During the visit, the opposition leader paid special attention to the shortcomings of the harbour and inquired into the issues grappling the fishing community of the area.
අද වර්තමාන රජය හැම අතකින්ම උත්සාහ කරනවා මේ රටේ ජනතාවගේ නිදහස අහුරන්න. අලුත්ම කාරණාව තමයි සමාජ මාධ්‍ය පාලනය කරන්නට, සමාජ මාධ්‍ය ශාස්ත්‍රයට තහංචි දමන්නට, මාර්ගගත දත්ත සුරක්ෂිත භාවය කියලා ලොකු වචන ඉදිරිපත් කරලා සමාජ මාධ්‍යවල අයිතිය රජය අතට ගන්නට රජය මුල පුරලා තිබෙනවා. මං කියනවා රජයට ඔබගේ ඔය මාධ්‍ය මර්ධන ත්‍රස්තවාදයට අපි කිසිසේත්ම ඉඩ තබන්නේ නැහැ. රජයේ අතට ගන්නට යන මේ උත්සාහය තුළ හොඳට මතක තියාගන්න තවත් අරගලයක් මේ රටේ නිර්මාණය වෙනවා. ඒ අරගලෙන් කාගේ පුටුව හිමි වෙයිද කියන එක කියන්න බෑ.
Meanwhile, Sri Lankan Professor Karu SLA won the award for the Department of Defence Eureka Prize for Outstanding Science in Safeguarding Australia, awarded by the Australian Museum for Eureka Prizes. Professor Karu, an alumnus of the University of Montreux, currently serves as a distinguished professor at the University of Technology in Sydney. He developed a low-profile, energy-efficient and steerable antenna system to help the Australian Defence Force gain a crucial advantage in battle, along with his team, the Meta-Steerers.
The Australian Museum Eureka Prizes are the nation's premier science awards, celebrating achievements across a broad spectrum of sciences, from environmental to innovative technologies, citizen science, leadership and mentoring. Finalists from almost every state and territory across Australia are in the running for the 18th AM Eureka Prizes across 4 categories: research and innovation, leadership, science engagement and school science. The Department of Defence Eureka Prize for Outstanding Science in Safeguarding Australia under the category of Research and Innovation was claimed by the Metasteerers team, which was headed by Sri Lankan Professor Karu Eselle, who now serves at the University of Technology in Sydney. The Metasteerers team also comprised members from the Australian Defence Science and Technology Group and Macquarie University in Sydney. Notably, Dr. Matik Artigala, a Sri Lankan academic, is the lead of the Defence Science and Technology Group.
University of Technology, Sydney. Let's give it up again for our winners.
The science is always exciting. But this project proved once again what amazing things we can do with science. In this case, steering the beam of antennas using meta surfaces, those cool stuff. That's why we are called meta steerers, not because we occasionally do this silly steering dance. But anyway, to be serious, what's most important, most rewarding, is the contribution of our research for safeguarding Australia.
The team developed a low-profile, energy-efficient and steerable antenna system to help the Australian Defence Force gain a crucial advantage in battle. Their unique system allows the ADF to transmit large volumes of data to track suspicious radioactivity across a wide bandwidth while remaining almost invisible to adversaries.
So your team has developed an antenna system that is really thin, but it can transmit a really wide bandwidth of data. Explain to everyone why that's so cool.
Because a lot of people think that bigger is better. And in antenna business, that is true in some cases, but not always. And we got to be smart in defense. We can't have huge antennas and without being noticed. So the real cool is we got things that you can hide and conceal and still work as well as the bigger ones, but nobody would know.
Congratulations. Well done.
Other accolades of Professor Karu, who is an alumnus of the University of Moratuwa, include 2019 Macquarie University Research Excellence Award for Innovative Technologies, 2019 ARC Discovery International Award, 2017 Excellence in Research Award from the Faculty of Science and Engineering, 2017 Engineering Excellence Award for Best Innovation, 2017 Highly Commended Research Excellence Award from the Macquarie University, and 2009 Vice Chancellor's Award for Excellence in High Degree Research Supervision, and 2004 Innovation Award for Best Invention Disclosure.
For the latest in the world of business, join us on the other side of this short commercial break.
ගොඩමඩ පෙරලි කරන බලපුළුවන්කාරයා මහින්ද්‍රා යුවෝ ඩීමෝ වෙතින්. වැඩම ගොඩයි ගොඩම තමයි ස්වරාජ් ට්‍රැක්ටර් ඩීමෝ වෙතින්.
Welcome back. Now, a tornado-like weather condition was seen yesterday in the sea area near Bambalapitiya against a backdrop of heavy rain and strong winds affecting several parts of the country. As a result of the adverse weather conditions, several buildings in the Bambalapitiya area were damaged. Further, a 72-hour detention order has been granted to the Sri Lanka police to question 2 suspects who assisted the police constable in relation to the criminal leader Harak Kata's recent escape attempt. With that, here's a look at more news across the island in brief.
Following the heavy rain conditions and strong gusty winds affecting several parts of the island yesterday, a tornado-like weather condition erupted in the sea area of the Bambalapitiya coast. The tornado, which was previously seen moving towards land, disappeared sometime later. However, as a result of the adverse weather conditions, several buildings in the area, including the Bambalapitiya railway station, was damaged. Meanwhile, a group of people who entered the Wattegama Divisional Hospital forcibly have reportedly attacked a doctor on duty, the security officer and another staff member. Following the attack, the doctor was admitted to the National Hospital in Kandy, while the others were admitted to the Wattegama Divisional Hospital. It was further reported that 4 suspects have been arrested in relation to the incident by the police. In other local news, the Sri Lankan police have been granted a 72-hour detention order to question the two persons arrested on suspicion of aiding the police constable who was complicit in Harakkata's escape attempt at the Criminal Investigation Department. The suspects were arrested by the Colombo Crimes Division last night. According to the CID, Harakkata had been aided by a certain police constable who had later fled the scene. However, the constable in question still remains in hiding.
Now in your local business news, Sri Lanka has fully settled the $200 million currency swap obtained from Bangladesh in 2021. According to the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, the remaining $50 million amount was settled by the bank last week. On September 2nd, Sri Lanka repaid $100 million, while $50 million were settled on the 17th of August. The currency swap was authorized by Bangladesh in May of 2021 for Sri Lanka to help boost the island nation's economy, becoming the first South Asian country to extend crucial financial assistance to Colombo that year. Now, the virtual annual general meeting of the Distilleries Company of Sri Lanka convened yesterday to receive and consider the annual report of the directors and the financial statements of the company for the year ended 31st of March 2023. Meanwhile, Laughs Gas PLC announced that its annual general meeting was held on the 21st of September, adding that resolutions in respect of matters set out in the agenda for the AGM were duly passed by the shareholders of the company. Let's take a look at more news from our corporate world in our corporate news segment today.
The virtual annual general meeting of the Distilleries Company of Sri Lanka was held yesterday, and resolutions in respect of the matters set out in the notice were duly approved by the shareholders. The meeting convened to receive and consider the annual report of the directors and the financial statements of the company for the year ended 31st of March 2023. Further, DHS Jayawardena, CR Jans, NDS Devaditya, Dr. A.N. Balasurya, MANS Pereira were re-elected as directors of the company. Laughs Gas PLC announced that its annual general meeting was held on the 21st of September, and resolutions in respect of the matters set out in the agenda were duly passed by the shareholders of the company. During the AGM, Professor SPP Amaratunga and R. Selvaskandan were re-elected as directors of the company, while the directors were given authority to determine and make donations for the year ending 31st of March 2024 and up to the date of the next annual general meeting. Meanwhile, Bearwell Resorts PLC announced that the ordinary resolution set out in the notice issued beforehand was carried unanimously at the extraordinary general meeting of the company, which was conducted virtually. During the extraordinary general meeting, report prepared by the directors in terms of Section 220 of the Companies Act No. 7 of 2007 and the financial position of the company was discussed. The report highlighted that the company's losses escalated and stood at 277 million rupees for the year ended 31st of March 2023 after recognizing the exchange loss of 47.6 million rupees on the US dollar denominated loan in compliance with the Sri Lanka financial reporting standards.
And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of AdaDerana First at 9. Thank you. Have a great night.